Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. Today, I'm so sorry. Today, I wanted to do just like a nice solo podcast since I haven't really done that with you guys in a while. Um, and it's always nice to just hang out and talk. I should be scooting more to the right. I could be more in the middle. Um, But hello. I'm gonna look at my fingers a lot today because I have two bug bites. I have a bug bite right here. I don't know if you can you tell? See right there. It's so fucking swollen, and then I have one right there. It's so painful and so itchy. Anyways, welcome back to Tea Talks with me, your host, Teaonalamb. Today I wanted to just chat with you guys about work stories. Because my coworkers didn't want to go on it with me. My old coworkers didn't want to be in this episode because they still work there, and so they didn't really want to like jeopardize their job, which is understandable, but it's whatever. How dare they? um but I don't work there anymore, so it doesn't matter. So I'm going to be telling you guys very interesting work stories of all of the jobs that I've had so far in the last 5 years. Yeah, in the last 5 years. So I guess I'll just start off with, or I'll just go in chronological order. So my first ever official job was working at the mall. I was working at a mall near me, my local mall, and it was this survey company where you are wearing a suit with a clipboard, standing outside, and you're trying to convince and coerce these people into taking a long ass survey for cash. And we lie. We're supposed to lie. They tell us to lie. Oh, it won't take up too much of your time, but like you're not supposed to say the exact amount of time because it ranges around 20 to 40 minutes for a survey. And I'll get into that a little bit more in a second, but it takes like 20 to 40 minutes and you get only $2. $2 in cash. That's it. You get 2 buckaroonies for that much of your time. It's a fucking scam. And so I would just be like, would you like to get some quick cash? Would you like to get some quick cash? I gotta fucking say it hella fast because, people are just walking right past and I'm a solicitor. So it's like, you want to make some quick cash? It'll be really, really quick. Some quick cash. Just take a survey for some quick cash. Quick cash. So that's what I did. Reason why it was so bad was we had our manager, obviously, on site. It was this lady, probably in her late 20s. And she would clock in. Be there for like 15 minutes and then dip. She would not come back for the rest of the shift. Just dip, ain't coming back. Why? I don't fucking know, but she just did not come back. And I realized that it was happening very frequently. There are some days that she was there for the entire shift that I was working, which is from opening to closing. But most of the time she was not there. And then she would enlist these 1 to 2 people that have worked there for a while to be stand-in managers. But the thing is, they don't have that title. They're doing the same grunt work that I am doing. So they're getting the same base minimum wage pay of like $11. But they're doing managerial tasks because the manager told them, hey, you're the stand-in manager. And because they're super close and because they've been working together for so long, so they have like this like priority and like they have seniority and all this other shit. Um but what's it called? Uh yeah, so basically I was dealing with that already. And then dealing with unhappy customers because they're only getting two fucking measly dollars for wasting almost an hour, half an hour to an hour of their time. Reason why the surveys took so long is because they were all recorded. They were audio and video recorded surveys that have to be done with a representative. And the representative has to verbally say every single question and multiple choice answer, and then the customer can actually answer and choose. I need to do that for about 20 questions, but 20 to 25 questions, but in between the questions, you would be watching a movie trailer. The only upside to this job is I'm able to see trailers before they came out, see movie concepts before they came out, which is like super fucking cool. I don't remember what. Oh, there. Fuck. It has Mark Wahlberg in it. There's this one movie trailer that I saw that had Mark Wahlberg in it. I think he's the main dad, but it's a full white family, but it's him and his wife, and then they go to adopt a child, but then they end up like adopting like these siblings or like this group of foster kids that have always been together. And then at the end of the story, it's a happy ending, and like they finally like accept them as their actual parents and shit. I don't remember what that's called, but maybe you guys know. I mean, it's a very similar trope to like many other movies, but it came out, I'm gonna say sometime in 2018. That's when it came out, that movie. So if you guys know, definitely comment that, please. If you guys are watching on YouTube, please comment. That would be very, very, very nice. Let me lift my chair up really quickly. I don't like feeling so short. So that's like the only cool thing. I was able to see a ton of trailers before they were released, and all the surveys were like, "What are your guys' thoughts on this, trailer? On a scale of 1 to 10, after watching the trailer, would you want to watch it? What do you think that the movie is about?" Sometimes they're like super trailer specific, like, what do you think the red scarf symbolizes? Who do you think is the villain? But yeah, that's why like it takes so much fucking time, because some of them are like open, like free response questions, and some of them are multiple choice / like scale based. So it takes so much time. So not only did I waste my time, yes, I'm getting paid more than these very sad scammed people, but I was only scheduled one day out of the week for 8 hours, which is good, but not the best. I just graduated high school. I'm still 17 because I graduated high school in May and I turned 18 in October. And I like any money that is offered to me is great, because then because I don't fucking have money, because I'm fresh grad out of high school. This is my first, job out of school. But I was getting paid around 11-ish dollars an hour, worked 8 hours, could not really socialize. We had to try our best to meet a quota. If you reach a certain quota, you may get commission. We are basically scamming customers. It's just like all around bad, annoying bullshit. I worked there for only a month, which is only fucking like, well, I worked there for like a month and a half, which is 4 shifts, and then me saying I don't want to work here anymore. I'm putting in my 2 weeks, and then me putting in my 2 weeks, and then me dipping. So I didn't technically work there for long, because if I say I worked there for a month and a half, you think of like, full part time or like full time. but it was literally one shift a week. So I technically only worked 6 shifts and I dipped, which isn't a lot, but hopefully you guys can understand that that shit was mad bullshit. um, I didn't work there for long, like actual shift wise, actual pay wise. Like I didn't make that much money at all. It was god awful, and I just like didn't like dealing with the dynamic that was going on. I did not like the like managing situation. I became friends with like a few of the people that worked there, and they all had like the similar idea. And then like one of them that I became friends with, she and I decided to put our 2 weeks in on the same day, which is the same day that we agreed we should put in our 2 weeks. Oh, when we both left for our shift, we were like, "Hey, by the way, I want to put in my 2 weeks," and we left shift separately. But I deleted her number from my phone like obviously years ago because it was 5 years ago. But Lamau. That's all I gotta say. LMAO, hilarious. So I ended up dipping there. And then I didn't work anywhere for a while. I started college. And then I applied for a few places and I got hired at San Jose State in the IT department, in a sub department in the IT department. And working there was all right. But because it was my first official job, like I kind of, and especially because it was a student job, I didn't give too much care in the job overall. But even so, even if I did not give too much care into the job, like I still like the job a lot. I made a lot of friends at the job. They've all graduated now. But I'd say that because of who I am and because I have a bad understanding of right place, right time, um, the managerial staff started like ganging up on me, which is understandable because they're trying to keep me in check and everything. But then they started ganging up on me, and then I ended up getting fired. Um, I don't like admitting that I got fired, but technically I did not get fired. My contract was just not renewed for the following semester. So they never fired me. They just did not renew my contract. Because apparently at my university, those are two very, very different things when you're working as a student there. If you're not renewing your if they're not renewing your contract, it basically is like me being laid off, me being let go, more so than being fired. Because being fired would be like in the middle of my contract where it says that I will be working this entire semester. They're just letting me go in the middle of it. They're just firing me out, right? So that's why, like, technically it is considered being fired because I was no longer able to work at this job anymore, which is kind of the definition of being fired. But in their definitions, it is being let go, or no, like I'm not being renewed. It was just a contractual job, my contract just ran out. Like if you work for like an agency, a contract agency, you can get fired from the job that they got you, or you just, play out your 6 months, you play out your 1 year contract, and they will either bring you on for the next year, hire you full time, or just say, hey, we can't renew your contract. So then like technically, just like for the ease of it, I say I got fired, but like I technically didn't. I did do my job very well. It was my first ever customer service job, other than me scamming people. But like my first ever official job, I consider to be that job, obviously, because I worked there for 8 months. And I did my job very well. That's how I learned phone customer service. That's how I learned how to work with Cisco phones. That's when I started learning a little bit more about like partial IT. I really, really liked the job. It was a really, really fun job. Okay, it was a boring job, but it was still fun because it was my first ever job. Blah 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 this, blah blah that. But I thought that uh what's the word? I thought that I what the fuck is the word that I'm trying to think of? Meshed well. There's another word that's like that word. Oh my god. This is gonna eat me alive. Like I thought that I worked well with them, with my managerial staff. I literally cannot think of the word. It's on the tip of my tongue. It's stuck there, and fuck. Okay. I thought that I worked pretty well with them. Like also like they were just super friendly to me because obviously I'm an employee. But I did become friends with one of the staff members. They ended up quitting themselves to go to a better job, and I saw them at a craft fair recently, which was super interesting. Motherfucker was holding hands with a girl, and then they let go. And then I was like, oh my god, what's up? Because he saw me first. And he's like, hey, yo, Tiana? And I was like, oh my god, what? What's up? I remember his name, but I'm not gonna dox him. Let's call him Jacob. I don't fucking know. The only Jacobs I remember from like high school. I was like, what's up, Jacob? What's up? Oh my god, haven't seen you in forever. I was there with Tristan. But yeah, he was holding hands with this girl. But Tristan went off to go like look at the stalls, and then this girl that he was with went off to go look at the stalls as well. But before that, he was like, "Oh, this is my friend." And then I looked at him like he was fucking crazy. I was like, "Ah, friend." She snickered, she laughed, she chuckled, and then she went off. But then I also like introduced Tristan to him. I was like, "Oh, this is Jacob. Like I used to work IT with him. He was my boss." And then Tristan made fun of me immediately. He's like, "So, how was dealing with her?" Or some fucking shit. Fucking asshole. They made fun of me for a little bit, and then Tristan went off. But yeah, no, it was really cool to see him again. But I thought Jacob was pretty cool. Like we became friends. He and I both speak Cantonese, and he really saved my ass a lot of the times in regards to jobs and in regards to that job. But the main manager there, let's call him Beck. I don't fucking know. So Beck, he's this really, really old guy. Beck is not really an old guy name, but it is this really, really old guy named Beck. And or not name, actually not name, whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. So Beck, he trained me. But the thing is he like never came into work. But it wasn't the same situation as my first ever job, where they would just come in and like have other people do things for him and still be clocked in. Like apparently there was like home stuff going on with his kid, and like he was like super sensitive about it. But basically his like kid has a medical disorder, medical health issues, something like that. So he was just like constantly like not actually working. And working from home was not like a thing yet. There's no way for him to work from home other than like catching up on emails. But that's it. He wasn't like managing us. I don't know. That I found really interesting. Like, damn, managers can really just get away with anything. But again, it's like, it's for his kid. But why won't he just take a leave of absence to take care of his kid? I don't know. But there was just one person there, another boss, two of them. Ugh. Oh my god, I hated her so much. I'm gonna call her Barbara. Sure. There's this chick Barbara. She always sat in the corner in the staff office. She was always super quiet, didn't really talk too much. I was really intimidated by her. But then like she kind of like talked to me a little bit, or like I talked to her a little bit, and like it kind of eased me from my worries of fear and stuff. But then it got to a point where like she just gave me the impression of her being really cocky and like just an asshole. Like I know you're not really supposed to be friends with your manager, or like those that manage you, but like at least I want to try to be like work friends, not just like be utterly afraid because of our power differentials and like position differentials. But they just gave me this like vibe, and I really did not like them. And I kind of started realizing that they didn't really like me. And so then I was like, if you don't like me, I definitely don't like you. It's just very childish, but they were someone that pulled part of the strings in getting my contract not renewed. And then the last staff member, we will call her. So we already have Jacob, Beck, Barbara. I'll call her Julia. So we have 2 B's and 2 J's. So Julia, she was super cool. She was nice, but also very intimidating. They were the one that mainly managed us student assistants, and she was one that let me know that my contract was not being renewed. But like I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. The job, there wasn't like too much drama. There were 2 coworkers that were dating. They were together, and they were together before they got hired, and they were really good at not pretending not to be associated with one another while actually working, which is like pretty professional. It was this Asian chick with this white guy. Like, it sucks to see that shit. But they both did their job pretty well, and apparently the higher ups knew about it, but they let like that happen. They ended up moving the girl over to a different department, um, because she wanted to move there, and also it was like a kind of promotion, but not actually, but also to get her away from her boyfriend because of like rules or whatever. I don't fucking know. I have honestly no idea about that. But what I hated about this job is I did good at this job. I was good at this job. I genuinely was good at this job. I could like 100% train a person with just like the knowledge that I knew, even though I didn't work there for that long. Like, the cockiness in me, I know that my skills that I gathered and learned from the job, I would be able to train like any new person to come in and do all that. I basically did that with my other IT job at my university. I was not an official trainer, but I basically showed all of the newbies the ropes because I'm smart. Because I know how to do things, you know? So like might as well like use my knowledge and have them do the right things, like, and not follow the training process. Oh my god, I have so much to complain about for this other job. But since I only worked at this job for 8 months, I have a lot less stories to tell. What else is there? During the like club week, finals week, welcome week, shit like that, this specific department would like give out snacks, especially during finals week. They would give out little like Madeleines, small juice boxes, and water and coffee and tea and jelly beans and other candy and shit like that. So Miss Julia told me, "Hey Tiana, get off the phones. Um we don't have enough stations for phones right now, and like a trainee's gonna come in and we need to train them. Can you do this for me?" And I was like, "Sure, what is it?" I mean, I'm fine with getting off of the phones because I talk less, I do less work. But then she literally put me in this side room that we own and had me separate into smaller containers the Costco sized Jelly Belly jelly bean box thing. So I fucking spent like my entire shift just like in a fucking closet, my entire like 4 hour shift in a fucking closet room esque kind of thing, sitting there and just slowly shuffling jelly beans into just small little like sauce containers. You know the ones that you get from like In and Out for your ketchup? No, not like that. Fuck. Um, Whenever you get sauce to go from any restaurant, those small little containers, I filled up like 100 something, 100 to 200 of those containers with jelly beans. Um, and that's what I did for my whole fucking shift. Like, that's fine. But like, why the fuck am I working food at an IT job? Why are you making me do this? Like, I understand why they're making me do this because of my reckless and inappropriate behavior on the floor. Which is just me being a comfortable college student talking about whatever the fuck and saying whatever the fuck and saying specific words that I'm not allowed to say at work, which is fuck shit bitch and a lot of other fuck shit bitches, you know, cursing. And they would like shit on me for it, but like I would work until like late night and there would be nobody in the computer lab because there was also a computer lab where we were stationed. And there's literally nobody there. And they're like, oh, but what if other people on the phones hear you? Like people that like call in, we pick up, and then like, you know, they hear me cursing. The thing is, like, I'm not that fucking dumb. If I know someone's on the phone, I'm not just gonna be like, yeah, fuck that bitch, she's so fucking dumb, like I'm not gonna be hella fucking loud about it. I'm just gonna be fucking whispering to my fucking friends, still cursing, but the fucking bitches ain't gonna hear. Like, I may be bad at right place, right time, but at least I know, like, to not be too loud. Um, so I was very dramatic back then. Still kind of am now, but pretty dramatic back then. And me working food that one time, I was kind of like, that's fine. And then the second time that they had me do it, I was like, bro, why the fuck are they making me work food right now? They just really wanted to get me off the floor because, you know, they just didn't want me working as much anymore. They still gave me the same shifts and everything, but they really just wanted me to like not work as much to just get me out of there. And then so one day, so the story of how I found out that I was going to be let go, that my contract was not going to be renewed, was there were 2 new hires. And so they were using the stations. And so I was using a laptop. I was using a work laptop that they use for students that don't have a station. And so I'm still sitting in the help desk area. But I'm using a laptop. And so I opened up a tab, went to tinder.com, and was swiping through Tinder on the computer because I was not able to use my phone. Swiping through Tinder at work on a work laptop in broad daylight. And yes. Is that a good thing to do? No. But what's fucking interesting is Tinder has this little toggle that you can click and it changes the Tinder like application that you see, the web page. They put it as like this fake Word document. Literally, it's the click of a button and it's this fake fucking Word document, which is like fucking babble. Which is super interesting. Or I think it was like email. I don't know. It was one of the two. Which is really, really interesting. I didn't really use it to like hide or anything. I just found it and I was like, that's pretty cool, but like I don't give a fuck. I was very, very carefree at this job. And so I would like alt tab very frequently. Especially because, you know, like I'm just sitting there waiting to pick up calls. But Julia came by and thank God I alt tab pretty quickly. She was like, hey Tiana, by the way, can you come with me for a second? Let me just talk to you in like the whatever room. Like she like says like the name of a room, which is the same fucking closet room that I did the food service in. I was like, oh shit. So I closed out of it. I was talking to somebody and said, okay, BRB, my boss wants to talk to me. I minimized that, closed the laptop, and then I walked over to the room, sat down. But before that, as I was walking by, I told my coworkers / friends, bro, I'm about to get fired. I was joking. I was not manifesting. I was fucking joking. I was fucking joking that I was gonna get fucking fired. And then I sit down and they talk to me like, oh, you did a good job, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. But I just wanted to let you know that we will not be renewing your contract for the spring semester. So you can pack up your things and you can go and we'll pay you for the rest of the week. You don't have to come in for your shifts for the rest of the week. And I was like, oh, heart drop, heart sink, stomach drop, all the things, balls drop, everything. I was flabbergasted that my meme, my joke became true. I was not manifesting, I was memeing. And so I walk back and I go, yeah, I just got fucking fired. I immediately open up the laptop again to close everything out and turn it off. And I type, I just got fired, to the person that I matched with on Tinder that I was talking to. Closed everything out, turned it off, put it away, grabbed my stuff, and I dipped. And so I just walked to the bus stop, which is normally the way that I got home, and then immediately posted on my Instagram story, guess who just got fired? So this happened July of 2019. No, not July 2019. No, not July 2019. I'm sorry, that is completely wrong. It was August 2018. That's also wrong. Huh? I'm getting my dates mixed up. Hold up, guys. One moment. August. It would not be August 2018. It would be August 2019. That makes no sense because I started streaming July 2019. This makes no fucking sense. The math is not mathing right now. If I graduated high school May of 2018, started the job January of 2019, huh? Wait, guys, I'm actually genuinely so fucking confused. I started that job January 2019. No, I didn't. Huh? Wait, what? Yes. I started that job January of 2019. I didn't start streaming in 2019. That makes no sense. I did not start streaming in 2019. I started streaming in 2020. So that means my math in that one fucking podcast I did was incorrect. I have not been streaming for 3 years. I have been streaming for 2 years. I am going crazy. I am literally going crazy. Oh my fucking god, guys. I'm literally... Started the job January 2019. I got fired August of 2019. Yes. I was let go in August of 2019 on the day of my ex-boyfriend's birthday. And then he and I got together a month after I got fired. And then we were together until July of 2020. And that's when I started streaming. So I have not been streaming for 3 years. I was right, and they were proving me wrong. I was right. I started 2020. Huh. I'm so bad at math. Fucking hell, man. I can't deal with this shit. Hold up. God. That means that 3 years ago I got fucking fired from that job. It don't fucking mean that I fucking started streaming 3 years ago. Jesus fucking Christ. How many days since? Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. Wait. Wait. I did search up July. Wait. I'm fucking. Hold up. Hold up, guys. 2 years, 10 months, and 18 days ago. Yeah, no, wait, that means the math was right. Oh, I'm just fucking dumb. Guys, I'm fucking going insane. I have already been streaming for 2 months. I've been almost streaming for 3. Now I've already streamed for, oh my god, guys. I'm fucking literally going crazy right now. But yeah. So that's how I got my ex. I matched with him at work. And then after that, I was jobless for a few months. I was jobless from that August of 2019, and then I got hired in a different IT department at the same university in January of 2020. And then I was at that job for 3 years, and that was my favorite job in the fucking entire world. Favorite job, met so many friends, met so many people, learned so many new things. I have so many interesting stories from that job. I literally just hung out with one of my old coworkers last night. They're great. I love them. They're fun. I'm really glad that I had the experience of working there. But I worked there for almost 3 years. I worked there up until May of 2022. Wrong. August. I worked until August of 2022. And then I worked at a different job. And then I work here. At Sutter Health. Fuck it. Fuck it. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Shit. No. I worked in San Francisco. And then I worked my last job. And then I work here. So I had 2 other jobs in between my favorite job and this job, which is my next favorite job because of the benefits. But working at this other department, there are a lot of interesting people. So, first things first, the CIO, the Chief Informations Operator at this university that oversees the entirety of the IT department is racist. And it's funny. It's not funny. Racism is not funny. Please do not take this out of context. Racism is not funny. But what is funny is that he has so many allegations towards him for being racist, and they're all from white people. Because this CIO is Asian. A yellow Asian. And he would pick other yellow Asians and promote them instead of the white people. Which is funny. But not, but it's funny. Because it's the reverse, you know? If the CIO was white and he was only hiring white people, then he'd be an extreme racist and he would lose his job immediately. But this CIO has had so many allegations against him for being racist toward white people, or specifically non-yellow Asian people, that he's literally still working, but I think he's gonna lose his job next year. But that's, first of all, already super interesting. And then the person that used to be the director for my specific department, he left, I believe. I don't remember if he was fired or if he left. I think he left. I think he retired. But there was a new person that got hired last year. And this motherfucker makes things so fucking difficult. When he first got hired, he came down to our office and was like, "Hello, my name is blah, blah, blah. Nice to meet you guys. I'm the new director. I really want to come here a lot more often so I can talk to you guys a lot more, get to know you guys a lot more, and get to know the department a lot more. I really want to be hands-on and stuff like that," which is super cool. But then he only came down to fucking spy on us. He came down usually after my manager left and right before we closed, to be there for about 5 to 10 minutes to just say hi, never remembered any of our names, and would just leave. He literally just come in, Hi guys, just want to check in on you guys. What were your names again? I hope work went well today. I know you guys are closing up soon, blah 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 this, blah 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 that. And then he would just leave and go home. And this is when like I was like doing closing shift, which is like ending around 10 o'clock. So it's just like, why are you here? Go away, Ronald. That's not his national name. Fake name. Go away, Ronald. Fuck off. And so what's it called? He ended up deciding, Mr. Ronald ended up deciding that our department is not a useful department, so he's not going to pay much attention to it anymore, financially or just overall, and he's just going to put us on the back burner. Even though, because of COVID happening and distance learning happening, our department became one of the most important departments to exist. We opened up our office on campus months earlier than any of the other departments that opened up. Other than the labs, like other than classes where students had to come in to do a lab, those of course were still open and they still were going on from like the lockdown and things like that. But then after, I believe 2 months after March, starting in March, 2 months, May, like we immediately went back. But then of course, like the ban was not lifted until like a lot later in 2020. And so we came onto campus to do our fucking job, to assist students and teachers to do distant learning, and also to help faculty members be able to do distant work from home. Because our department checks out equipment to students, faculty, and staff. And so without us, students would need to be buying their own things, and the school would just not be assisting them in any way with any distance learning or from work. So that was us. But then Mr. Ronald decided that we are not that important. Of course, he did get hired when like COVID was like not as prevalent anymore, and it was not as much of a danger as it was previously. It was not, like a really, really bad outbreak. It was just like the next flu. Just, bad. But he started changing the rules, changing the checkout rules to what he saw fit. He was just changing everything around what he thought was right for the department, even though he does not know anything about the department. And then one fucking day, after I had already left, I no longer worked there. I've been gone for about a month or two from this job. And I hear news from a little birdie that our manager that we love and we care about and treats us so well as a manager and stands up for us all the time against Mr. Ronald and fights for us and the department was getting fired. They let her go. They fired her with no actual reasoning, at least that we can find. It could also be because she isn't telling anybody, or the person that she told that we would use as an informant is just like being respectful and just not telling us. But I am nosy and I need to know. But I'll never find out. But apparently in the beginning, when they said that they were firing her, they didn't actually give her like an actual reason. They only gave her a reason, I think, like a little bit later. Or even so, like they didn't give her a true reason. Like the real reason. And what we are all assuming, all of the friends of the department, we are all assuming that they let her go because of how much that she was fighting for our department and how much trouble that she was causing behind the scenes for fighting for us against Mr. Ronald. Like going against his wishes for protocol changes, checkout procedures, Literally just like changing so many things. And of course, our godly manager was constantly fighting, saying like, "Hey, yo, chill the fuck out. Um, like, leave us alone. This is our department. I've worked here for X amount of years. Like, don't do this." So yeah, she got fired, and she did appeal it, and unfortunately, she did not win the appeal. But they never gave her a real reason of why she was getting fired. And it's just like all this shit that's just like bullshit as fuck. So that happened. So of course, like, that's the downside of it. There was a coworker that cursed me out. He is an old 70-year-old man that still works there and won't retire because he has nothing else going on in his life. No wife, no kids, only family member lives states away, parents are dead, has maybe a few friends, but they're just friends that he made in like the activities that he does that are extracurricular. He's a little bonkers in the head, was in the Air Force, but not on the field. Has a master's degree in library studies, which means that he could have become a librarian, but he did not. But this motherfucker cursed me out because he was being racist or being stereotypical, and I was not like going along with his stereotypical, his prejudicial joke, and so he ended up cursing me out, which was fucking crazy. He cursed me out in front of other staff members and other student assistants, and we were all so flabbergasted. That shit was mad fucking funny. And then I immediately called my coworker. Actually, I immediately called one of my coworkers and immediately told him because he is a higher position than the person that cursed me out, but he's under the manager. And so after I told him everything, I called my other coworker, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, so and so just like texted me about it. Tell me more details." And so, oh my fucking god, this motherfucker. So, I love telling this story because it's fucking hilarious. I was so flabbergasted. One of our coworkers was going home. It was time for him to leave. So coworker 1, I'm tired of fucking giving names, I'm sorry. I can't keep track of them. So coworker 1 was going home. And coworker 1 realized that they left something at their desk for them to actually go home. I don't remember if it was either their pocket knife or if it was their keys. But I think it was just like their keys. They walked back, and then so bitch coworker that cursed me out, coworker 2, was like, "Oh hey, coworker 1, like welcome back. I can't believe it's already, like the next day. So like Tuesday. Did you forget something?" And then coworker 1 responds with like, "Yeah, no, I just forgot my keys, or I just forgot my knife, or I forgot something, he forgot whatever the fuck he forgot." And then coworker 2 goes, "Ah, yeah, you definitely would need that in where you live." And like he said, the actual city. And then the thing is, coworker 1 is really good at just ignoring coworker 2. And so coworker 1 just goes, or just some fucking shit, like doesn't actually like say anything at all, doesn't actually like react. It doesn't actually like react to him or anything. He just kind of ignored him, still had his headphones in. And then so I turn around I go, what do you mean that he would need like a knife in this city? And then coworker 2 gets hella flustered. It's like, oh, like, you know how that city is. The thing is, this city is not a bad city. The city is not a ghetto city. The city is actually a very predominantly white city, and has a very, very low crime rate. So I'm just confused. I'm very confused. I don't know what the fuck he knows about this city, but at least from what I know, because I lived there briefly, there's just rich bitches living everywhere. What the fuck? I don't get it. So I was like genuinely curious. Like, hey, coworker 2, what do you mean that he would need this in this city? You know what I mean, because like this city's, kind of like, dangerous, or like something along the lines of that. No. Actually, no. He didn't say dangerous. He just said, you know. And then I was like, no, I don't know. What do you mean? Because now I'm genuinely curious, confused. Like, am I missing something? Is there something about this city that I did not know? Like, I lived there for a little bit. Yeah, you're like so many fucking years older than me, but like, what am I missing? I don't get it. But he ends up muttering something under his breath, right? And I could not hear what he said, but I heard the F word. He said fuck under his breath in like some sentence. And then I was like, huh? Because I couldn't hear what he said. And my was, what did you say? Because I wanted to know what he said. He stands up, looks directly at me, and then I think he said, I'm so fucking tired of you. Or something along the lines of that. And then me, a coworker that was also a student assistant, or maybe even 2 of them, and a staff member that's still there that would close with us, all whip our heads to take a look at him. Because we were just like, what the fuck did he just say? Because this happened like a year ago now. So I don't exactly remember what he said, but I swear on my life he said something along the lines of, I'm so fucking tired of you. Or, I just remember. He said, oh my god. I feel like the heavens are shining a light onto you right now for me remembering this. He said, you have no fucking sense of humor. He said that to me. He said that. He yelled at me. He yelled at me, stood up like an angry, fuming old man. You can see the fucking steam coming out of his ears and nose. Looking me down. You have no fucking sense of humor. Walks out of his cubicle. Fast speed walks outside of the building. And leaves. And then the fucking first thing I do is I go, huh? But the thing is, before that, one of my fucking coworkers, one of the student assistants, mad fucking funny. After coworker 2 said that, so let's call him student assistant 1, right? So student assistant 1 goes, whoa. That's it. That's all he said. After coworker 2 fucking curses me out. Like, when I say curse out, like, obviously, like, I'm exaggerating, but, like, he is a staff member. He has worked there for 30 plus years. He is supposed to be a role model for me. He is supposed to be someone that I'm supposed to look up to, that is supposed to be someone that is setting a good example for me as an employee, as a student assistant. But him doing that, being immature and doing that, obviously just proves all that wrong. And it's just LMAO to the max. And then, yeah, student assistant 1 just goes, whoa. That shit had me cracking up, but I could not laugh because coworker 2 was just so fucking mad. And he storms out. And then, of course, I go, huh? What the fuck just happened? And then, coworker 3, the other person that's going to close with us, is so confused. She's like, what? Did he just say that? Wait, what did he say? I kind of zoned him out for a second. And I was like, oh, he just said I don't have any fucking sense of humor. And obviously I'm emphasizing that he said fucking. And then, of course, I immediately call coworker 4 and tell him everything about it. And then call coworker 5 and tell him everything about it as well. And then they end up telling my manager. And then the manager had a very stern talking with him and told him to apologize to me because she also talked to me, so she can get my point of view. Oh, but the thing is, coworker 2, after leaving, storms back in, grabs all their stuff, and then leaves. That was it. So my manager and I talk. I explain everything from my point of view. I literally wrote everything out, like fresh in my brain after it happened. After coworker 2 left, I just wrote all the shit out. Every single little detail possible to make sure that I can get this bitch in trouble, because this bitch has complained about me to my manager about the most fucking petty fucking shit to get me fired. Literally most petty fucking shit. So then I'm trying to be spiteful and petty back towards this motherfucker because they can't fire him. He's not tenured, but they can't technically fire him because there's no true reason to fire him, even though he doesn't do his fucking job. But I said that I was super confused and they're my role model, or like, you know, like they're someone that I'm supposed to look up to because they're a staff member. And I just felt super like I meant all of my questions out of genuine curiosity because I was confused by what they were trying to say. I could not tell that they were joking. It sounded like that they were making like prejudicial comments about a city. And I was just genuinely confused and curious about what they wanted to say. And when they cursed at me, I was very, very confused and I was taken aback. And then so my manager's like, what would you like, you know, like to do about it? You know, like how would you like me to help you, you know, like figure this out and solve this? And I was like, well, I mean, I just want to make sure that they take responsibility, and that I just wanted to make sure that you heard my side of things, because I'm pretty sure that they already told you their side of things. And I just want to make sure that the story's straight and you can see both sides. But I do want him to apologize because I feel like for all of the times that I have come into your office being in trouble because of them commenting on something towards me that is not as, like, you know, those situations of me getting in trouble is not as big as this whole situation. I just, you know, like I was cursed out at, and I really would prefer an apology. And then she was like, okay, I'll talk to him again later today when he comes back in, and I'll let him know that you want an apology. I was like, thank you so much. And then actually, my manager actually says, well, I already did tell him to apologize to you, has he not? I said, no, he has not. But what he did end up doing was try to apologize to me without saying the fucking words, I'm sorry or I apologize. Shit was mad funny, bro. Oh my god, this is the fucking story of the century. Because I'm just sitting there, minding my own business, doing my job. And then coworker 2 goes, hey, Tiana. And I go, why the fuck is this bitch talking to me? I look over to coworker 2. Like, oh, you know, about, like, last Friday, you know. Like, uh-huh. I didn't say anything, but in my brain, I'm like, what about last Friday? Coworker 2, what about it? Fuck you want? Like, but yeah, I was like, what, he's like, about my joke. And then I'm thinking, motherfucker, what the fuck is this fucking eggshell walking, beating around the bush bullshit that you're doing right now? And then I'm just like silent and I'm just like looking at him, giving him a confused look. He's like, like, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean the joke. And I go, huh? Motherfucker said he did not mean the joke. He did not fucking say he did not mean the fucking words he said to me. He did not mean it, motherfucker. Trying to save his fucking ass so you fucking get on the good side of our manager. Like, fuck you. Oh my God, you're such a bitch. You're such a fucking brown noser. And so I'm like, what do you mean? Because I am petty. I am petty as fuck. And I want him to apologize to me with his fucking words. I want him to say, I'm sorry for cursing at you on Friday, Tiana. I just wanted to hear those words and then have them engraved in my brain that this motherfucker that's been trying to get me fired for the 3 years I worked there is on his knees begging for forgiveness and all this shit. You know what I mean? So like, I was so fucking petty. I was ready for it. But he kept beating around the bush of just like, oh, I didn't mean my joke. You know what I mean, right? And I kept responding with either silence, a confused face, or like, what do you mean? That he ended up just giving up and sitting back down. He did not continue the conversation. He did not say sorry. And of course, my coworkers witnessed that. And I immediately texted my phone group chat of, bro, what the fuck? This motherfucker ain't apologizing to me. So I ended up telling my manager that he did not apologize to me. He really beat around the bush and he did not say I'm sorry. And then he sends me an email the next day, kind of apologizing. I don't exactly remember if they said I'm sorry. But remembering about this email, I still have access to my school email, so I'm gonna fucking forward that shit to my main email to make sure that that shit is gonna be fucking safe for the rest of my life. But he might have said the word I'm sorry or I apologize somewhere in that email. But then the thing is, I know he didn't mean it. I know that this is a half-assed apology. I know that it is easier for him to apologize through a message than through face-to-face because he is too much of a bitch and too prideful and prideful because I'm pretty sure he just does not want to apologize to someone that is 50 years younger than him. And he's only doing it to please my manager because my manager is instructing him to do so. So he's just doing it because my manager told him. So I didn't end up responding to the email. Because there is no rule that says that I need to forgive him. There's no rule saying I need to accept his apology. So I never responded to it. I just had it. I just had the screenshot out to my friends and said LMAO. That's it. I didn't bring it up at work again. He didn't bring it up at work again. But then he fucking complained. He talked to coworker number 4, my kind of boss, my informant about the manager firing situation. Coworker 4, he was like, "Oh hey, coworker 4, can I see you in the shop? I need to have a few questions for you." And whenever coworker 2 asks coworker 4 to go talk to him in the shop, it's always coworker 2 complaining to coworker 4 about something or someone. And there have been multiple times that he has gone to go to talk to coworker 4 and complain about me and bitch about me. And then coworker 4 comes to me and says, "Hey, guess what? Coworker 2 came up to me and bitched about you again." Oh my God, I love the work dynamic. I had so little power, but so much power at the same time. And so coworker 2 complained to coworker 4, like, hey, like, I know you know about the whole situation. I sent an email apology to Tiana, but she has not responded, and I find that is disrespectful, and I don't want to work with her anymore, or other blah, 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 this, blah, blah, that. Coworker 4 comes to tell me, hey, so coworker 2 is mad at you for not responding to his email. And I'm like, bro, I don't need to respond to it. Like, the whole spiel about I don't have to accept it, I don't need to forgive him, it's half-assed, this, that. Told him the same thing. He's like, yeah, understandable. Makes sense. And so I still, to this day, have never responded to the email. And that'd be so fucking funny if I sent a response to that email today. I'm not gonna do that. Because, there's no fucking reason to bring up some old-ass fucking shit. But at the same time, that should be mad funny. Because he'd be like, who the fuck is emailing me? What the fuck is Tiana emailing me for? And then sees that, like, because I don't work for the company anymore, I can just say, I don't accept your apology. But yeah, no, coworker 2 is homophobic. Coworker 2 is racist. Coworker 2 is a fucking mess. Just a fucking mess. But that's like the worst situation out of everything. When it was Pride Month last year, so it's been a year because it's June now. So a year ago, in the office, we put up some information about Pride Month and just like Pride history. And then my manager was like, oh my God, coworker 2. Or because the thing is, coworker 2 followed my manager over to the area that we put it up. Or at least was in that small area. And then my manager was like, oh my God, coworker 2, come look at this. Isn't this nice? I look over because I know exactly what they're looking at because I put it up because somebody told me to do it. And I look and I'm staring them down, excited. And yeah, manager 2's like, oh my God. My manager was like, oh my God, coworker 2, doesn't this look so nice? This is so nice. Like, I love this. This is so cool. Coworker 2 is just looking at it and goes, yeah. Dead eyes, dead tone, nothing. He just gave a one-word response of like, yep, or yeah, or sure. Like, does not care. Obviously, that does not exactly like say that he's homophobic, but he is very much homophobic. I don't remember a lot of the other stories that prove he's homophobic, but like he is homophobic. He's also racist and stereotypically he's easy. He talks about stereotypes sometimes. He was talking to coworker 1 a while back, like before I worked there, or maybe during a shift that was not there, and was making a joke about how there are so many computer science, how it's so weird that computer science is filled with so many Indians, and how that so many Indians are trying to work here in this IT job because they're computer science majors. And she's like, right? With the fucking, like, whole elbow thing, the whole elbow nudge. And then coworker 1 just like looked at him silently and did not respond at all. And coworker 4 apparently heard that, well, because they were all in the office together, and he snapped his neck over there and looked at coworker 1 and it was just confused. But it's because coworker 2 thought coworker 1, since they're both white, that they would have the same stereotypes and ideas. Oh my God. He also admitted to another coworker that he did not like me. Because I was like not actually hiding, but I was kind of hiding in one of the closets there because I was doing work in there. I was doing inventory. And I'm just chilling. And coworker 5, this new coworker, he's not new, but coworker 5 was there. This was super early in the morning. It was just me and coworker 5. Coworker 2 comes in. Oh, what's up, coworker 5? Oh, are you just all alone? Oh, no, Tiana's in today. Oh, where is she? Oh, I don't know. Oh, okay. That's good to hear. I don't really... He didn't actually say word for word, I don't really like her. But he said something along the lines where context clues you would understand he's saying that he does not like me. basically saying like, oh, okay, yeah, you know, oh, fuck, this was like 2 years ago, so it's much harder to remember. But he said something where basically, and I heard that shit, immediately texted my coworker. And when I left the room, coworker 2 was so flabbergasted that I was there, like, oh, you're here? He didn't actually say that, but he was like, oh, Tiana, you're in the office today? He was so terrified that I heard what he said. And yes, I fucking did, bitch. I heard you say I don't like you. But guess what, bitch? I don't like you either. Fuck you. Yeah. We make jokes about how we should hire a gay stripper to come in and that it'll give him a heart attack and that he'll die. Because he's that old. And that homophobic. But yeah, I have already gone over the 1 hour. I have so many more stories to tell about this job. So many of other people's stories as well. But oh my god, I love I love that job. But just that 70-year-old, another 70-year-old, and this other fucking like staff member bitch made that job a fucking living hell. That's why I never applied to work full time. But I would say that's a great place to conclude my work stories anthology. Of course, there's a lot more. I have more stories for my new job. I have some stories for the last 2 jobs in between this my current job and my favorite job. So I have a lot more stories. So I definitely want to make a part 2 for this. But those stories won't be able, it might be able to go up to the 1 hour mark, but we'll see. But oh my lord, did I have fun at that job? And oh my lord, are these fucking stories juicy. So definitely stay tuned to see a part 2. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you guys so much for listening. If you guys are listening on any of the podcasting platforms, I hope to see you guys in the next episode, but I hope you guys have a great rest of the day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, or whatever time it is for you guys. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!